Good morning, good day, good evening. Welcome to H Capture Live interviews. Today I have my very special guest, my good friend Emilio DiFabio. Emilio, how you doing, brother? What's going on?
Uh, All right, my man. How you doing here?
Everything's good. Everything's good, man. So
Great.
today we're gonna break down into a couple of questions for you. We want to give the fans some idea of, your acting background, a couple of the movies that you've worked on, and then some of the new credits that you have, so we can get a good idea. A lot of times, what happens is we have actors that are watching the show. They always come up to me and they ask me a lot of questions, so I like to get feedback from a lot of my friends that have worked on a lot of different scales, and you worked on every with A-listers, B-listers, C-list, a whole bunch of different aspects. So just talk about, how'd you get into acting? Like how'd you start into it?
High school,
Okay.
did a few productions, plays. Uh, I'm a musician too. Love to play
Yep.
my drums. So it was
Yep.
always that performance aspect. I always wanted to be. And then back in '82, giving away my age. Yeah, I had some headshots done. Took a couple auditions for commercials
Okay.
and some movie roles.
Okay.
Never got anything, but then life got in the way. Then it
Yep.
was like you had to go to work. I was in
Yeah.
school, so that got in the way. And then fast forward
Mhm.
about 5 years ago, I was watching a live with Gary Pastor, the actor,
Okay. Yep.
was
Yep.
on it,
Gary. Yep.
and he
Mhm.
was and he was talking about Italian food. Now Gary's Italian, right?
Yep. Yep.
So after this thing, I hit it. I just sent him a message, and I was like, "Yo, you were talking about Italian food. You're dead wrong." And he must have been like, "Who the hell is this guy?" So he responds to me. Ends up, Gary lives not too far from me,
Oh,
so
cool.
we hook up.
Hmm.
Yeah, so we're hanging out, and he always goes, "Man, you got a look about you. You got a
Yeah.
personality. Like, you belong in front of the camera." And as you know, Gary's been in a lot of
Hmm.
movies.
Everything. Everything.
So,
Yeah.
so, so at the time, he had auditioned for something, a production down in Florida.
Okay.
So he goes, "Hey man," he goes, "why don't you come down? I'll get you in this thing." And I was like, Gary, I don't know, man. I'm busy with work. And he goes, "How about if I throat punch you?" So swear to
That'll
God,
work.
we're in the. So I go to him.
That'll
I
work.
go, I go, "When are we filming?" And he goes, "In about 3 weeks in Miami." I go, "Okay." So the next thing you know, I'm on a flight down to Miami with Gary, and first time on a movie set, and I go out there. And my I always knew the director, the boss.
Hmm.
He's your guy.
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
director comes up to me and he says, "Hey, this is who I am, and this and that. This is what I want from you." I'm like, "Okay," and
Yeah.
gave the guy exactly what he wanted. And he was happy with it. Gary was like, "Bro, you did great, man. You're a natural. You didn't mug the camera. You didn't do this." And that's basically how it took off again. You
Yeah.
know,
Isn't that
and
strange
here
though?
we are
How a
today.
lot of times, like a lot of people, you have your different stories you hear about, but like going back to what you were saying before, like you had an interest in acting, and then life happens. A lot of actors kind of
Yes.
definitely can relate to that. It's like you have this dream and you're working. A lot of actors, they work for years and they say, "Oh, it didn't work out for me," and then they stop, and
Yeah.
then they find out later on, it's like, damn, like I should have kept going. Or there's different like availabilities. I know when I started, there were certain things that you couldn't do. Now there's social media and like there's a whole bunch of different resources and things like that. So like I understand coming from that and growing, and then you know being on the first time you're on a set and you see how movies are actually done, you get a lot more like understanding and respect to certain degrees. But then, like you said, you're natural. Like I met you, we worked together. So it's kind of like I know if he saw that, I would have probably done the same thing and been like, oh, yeah, this guy, I could definitely put him in something. I could definitely work with him. And then after that point, what was your next step?